Hello, Semestral Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and I'm here in the final Part 4 episode of our long-term discussion, debate, fun, Taco-Rama. I'm going to go with lots of words here tonight. With the team free-range dames, Mercedes Lilienthal, Elise Bent, who just got finished with the Rebelle Rally, and I got numbers for you. I looked this up. Rebelle Rally, 8 days, 1,600 miles, 180 checkpoints, 84 competitors, 68 staff, 12 countries, 2 states, and you survived.
Yes. Yes. 12 counties, not countries, but counties, yes.
Oh, is it counties? Oh. I can't read my writing. It's all right. We're having fun here tonight.
Countries, that would really be one hell of a rally.
I thought it was countries.
Around the world.
Look that up again more time. I'm confused on that. All right, so you guys have just gotten back. It's been a couple days of getting some sleep back. But you really have just gotten fresh off the 8 days of adventure. So you're just, I know you got excitement about this. I know you had lots of fun. I saw a lot of Facebook stuff. So who wants to start? It's like, this is like opening a can and like, here we go, audience, enjoy.
Sort of like those, those prank cans where they put a spring in it and
Precisely. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. The beginning was check-in, checkpoint, safety inspection.
Correct. Yeah. So that was the day before day 0. Was tech inspection. Basically, we got welcomed at Squaw Valley. We got to kind of meet all the staff, go through all of the official rules, and kind of how the week would unfold. They described to us how to use the checkpoint guides, that sort of thing, and then we went through these stations to make sure our vehicle was safe, our vehicle met the requirements, that we had the required safety equipment, that we could demonstrate that we could plot points on a map, and that sort of thing. So basically just kind of going through everything, making sure that everybody was prepared properly, and that all the safety requirements were being met.
I am so impressed you remembered all those little details.
Yeah. we have a lot up in here.
There's like,
in addition, we've got the fuel station too, right? So I had to give my credit card to sign my life away because we had to get fuel every single night. We went through about a tank a day. And some days we had to, add extra mile or add extra a couple of gallons extra. And then we had like medical staff too. We had to show our prescriptions that are current and first aid kits because we all had to have those and fire extinguishers. And then also get our beautiful vests, woohoo, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So yeah, we also had a dedicated ironing station to be able to iron on all of our team numbers too.
Oh, okay. I was like, you're not ironing every day, right? It's kind of
No. You have to earn the dirt on these beauties right here.
Oh, and the cat makes the appearance. Hi, cat. All right, so.
Yeah, she's either that or she's going to be howling. So this is Priscilla. Hey.
She's the official team support cat. So that's days. So day 0. Day 0 is it just still a prep day, or is it day you take off?
So day 0 is the day that we left Squaw Valley for Base Camp 1.
Okay.
It is basically a practice day. It's unscored. There's a couple of checkpoints and a road book to kind of get you back in the zone, or kind of just get you familiar with the process so that if you have any issues, if you have any questions, you can ask them at that point instead of after the competition actually starts. And that helps keep it fair for everybody, the rookies as well as the experienced rebels, and then also the international teams. If they're having some concerns, they can be brought up at that point.
Okay, so you get through day 0, right? Is there any issues in day 0?
Day 0 went smoothly.
No,
it was just driving around in Nevada, and it was pretty fun. We found. We actually forgot to go find one of the checkpoints because we were having such a fun time just driving around, and it was unscored, so and we also got in a traffic jam with some sheep, so that didn't help with the whole being distracted by all the awesomeness.
We do have video of that, though. It was cool because day 0, they did not take your phones yet. It was day 0 in the evening where they took your phones.
Oh, yeah.
So I do have video of that sheep traffic jam with the pack mule and the sheep herder and stuff like that. So.
All right. So what was harder, Starting day one or not having your cell phone? Oh, look at that! Look at the pause.
It was hard the first little bit without. I got used to it really fast, but that first little bit, you're kind of reaching for it, and you're like, oh, I want to like say this, or I want to check. It just kind of is an instinct, and so it was a bit strange.
Right. You don't realize how connected you are, especially with Elise and myself. We have to be on our phones all day long and on our computers. That's just the nature of both of our businesses and all the things that we have going on in our lives. But what I'm finding the hardest is actually reacclimating back into being able to use the phone, having a coffee maker, having a toilet that functions. Well, anyways, but like other things like that, it's like some of the niceties. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. I've got a closet with hangers that I don't have to roll all my stuff and put them in backpacks and stuff like that. So, yeah.
All right, so let's get back. Butterflies. Who's got butterflies day one?
Yeah, I didn't sleep much. Yeah, excited and nervous, because you don't really know. We didn't know what to expect, really. I mean, we kind of knew sort of the logistics of it, but we didn't know how tough it would be, or what the overall experience would be, where we would struggle and that sort of stuff. So it was definitely.
I think for me, I slept fairly well. Once I fell asleep, I slept fairly well. But since my main focus was the truck, right? So in the morning, she broke camp. If we had to move, she broke. I'm sorry, I'm getting that mixed up already. So in the mornings, I ended up having getting the truck ready. I didn't have time to get really anxious or what's going on and how's this. I mean, it was game face on for me. And by the time I threw my helmet on and ran with it, that was game on and focus time. So
yeah. So day one, you got to get acclimated what your plan is. You made your plan. Day one goes in action. So how's the days kind of go? Are we starting to plan going? Is checkpoints going well? I mean, what's going on?
So I kind of through maybe kind of breakdown of how the day unfolded. They were all very similar. So, the day would start at 5 a.m. or slightly before 5 a.m. That's when the cowbell, or Emily would go through the camp with the cowbell and make sure everybody was awake and starting to, get ready. At that point, you could go pick up your checkpoint guide, which is just a list of all the checkpoints that you have for the day, and the coordinates for those. And then your maps and an enduro book if you have an enduro that day. And then you can pick up your keys for the truck, just getting that ready as well. So around 5 a.m., that's when everyone starts plotting. That's when everyone starts getting the truck ready, making sure, the oil levels are good, fuel levels, tires look good, everything looks good. And then getting everything packed, from our camp into the truck, because we were most days breaking camp and setting up camp in a new spot for a few days. Yeah. So
a couple of different base camps.
Yeah, we had a couple of different base camps. And then around, depending on when your start time you drew was, because it was a 2-minute interval between each vehicle leaving camp, depending on when your departure time was. There we go. Those are all the times we drew for the week. Nice.
I have props.
We would then be ready 15 minutes before that time in the truck with our helmets on, seatbelts buckled, trackers on, all that sort of stuff, ready to go. And then we would be out for the whole day chasing checkpoints for about 10 to 10 and a half hours.
Yeah.
And then we'd come back at the end of the day.
time.
On time, yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Time every day. And then get fed dinner and then pretty much just go to bed.
Hope you had a shower. If you didn't have a shower, which I didn't get very many showers at all, it's like you just got to rock with what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that long in a desert, and you just get exhausted, right? So it sounds like it wasn't such. It was both. It was physically and mentally fatiguing.
Right.
And you had 8 days of that. So how did the so when you guys think back, so you've been out of it a couple days. When you guys think back, what stands out to you during the event? What are the memories that will stand out to you?
Boy, I think for me, there are so many. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of articles, podcasts, radio show, all that stuff that, and YouTube that we're going to be doing. So that'll help, kind of put it to print. so to speak. But for me, the people were totally awesome. The Rebelle staff, the people that were making all the food for us, the people that were cleaning the toilets and getting the showers ready to go and getting those pumped out and making sure that everything was good as far as that, the impound lot, making sure that nothing's blowing away, that everybody's got their paperwork and everybody's got their CP guides, their checkpoint guides, and their maps and things like that. So staff all around, and there's 68 people plus a lot of auxiliary people that made this happen. So big shout out to those guys because we love you. But also the competitors too. I think, meeting so many different people from totally different walks of lives, getting to know them, getting to help them, having them help us, and then just the train, the scenery, getting to drive, being very symbiotic with that truck, man. I love driving that stick shift, and it just was so cool for me to be able to bond with her and the new clutch. Yay. It was so much fun for me. And a lot of that is just really what my memory keeps going with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have to say the people were amazing. The staff, and then to kind of expand on the camaraderie that you build with these women that you're basically single focus for 8 days, doing the same thing day in, day out with these group of people. Even though you're competing against them, you're also in it together. You guys are the only people out there on that terrain. So we're kind of everybody's. We had like the thumbs up sign, you could pass a car, and then if it was a thumbs up, then you could just keep going. If there was no thumbs up, then you had, we'd stop and help each other out.
Make sure everybody's okay.
Even the top, especially the top teams, that was kind of sacred to them, I think, was to, make sure everybody gets to the finish line first and foremost.
Yeah. Very cool, very cool. So let's get into some specifics here. I will drink a little bit more.
Have another.
Yeah, I need something stronger, apparently. But we've talked over the last couple episodes here about some challenges we think we're going to have. So let's start with Mercedes, in that this was not your first time, but this was an extended period of time driving in a desert with a vehicle that you had to bond with, and you had a trust factor with your navigator. Right. So, what did you encounter? What did you overcome? What kind of stuck out to you over the week that had to get beyond like your comfort level to do this?
As far as the truck, it was very fast learning to get used to that new clutch because it's a manual transmission. And so, I was not nervous, but I just really wanted to get in it and just be like, okay, how's it going to react in the dunes? How's it going to be on different terrain? Because, every clutch is different, right? And so they had to put a new one in from Overland Cruisers out of Montana. Yay! Thank you. But they did, tip-top job in regards to getting the truck ready to go. And so it was running beautifully. Everything was great. So that was wonderful from a vehicular standpoint. As far as Elise and myself, very early on, we talked about words to use, like if she said 3.0 or if she said 3 kilometers, she'd say like 3 even or 3 flat. That way I didn't have to think I missed her saying like 3.2 or something like that. So, or like I would say copy, and then I would repeat back to her, it was 3.2 left hard on Susanville Road or something like that. And then I would repeat all of those things back to her because I'm so focused on the road and the terrain and everything that's around me. I wanted to make sure she knew I was hearing her. And so I think
it was loud. So
and everything was loud. Helmets were on. Windows were down a lot. So for me, that worked really extremely well. We had a really good game face and really good communication through the majority of all of it. I think the biggest
it took us a little while to kind of smooth out some of the finer points, I think.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, like that didn't work. Let's try this.
Yes. Right. And it worked. It worked well because we talked it through, right? There wasn't any helmet throwing or this or that or any craziness.
Oh, come on!
None of that nutso-ness. But no, it was great because we talked through it all. And we went through this whole thing saying, you know what? I'm going to get her stuck, which I did. She's going to get me lost, which she did. And as long as we didn't, we tried our best. And as long as we really just gave each other grace and a little bit of flexibility, it worked. And it worked out great. I think for me, the time management was the thing that I had to kind of continually overcome. And that's just learning and being new with it, is deciding in the morning what checkpoints to throw, over your shoulder, out the door, how to best game plan, your strategy. And so that was ever evolving for us throughout the duration.
There's a lot of days where, I mean, it's easy to get caught up in wanting to get all the checkpoints, because if you get all the points, you get all the points. But there's a lot of days where that's not a smart decision, because you're going to basically get so wrapped up in a certain early checkpoints that you're going to totally miss later ones. So you have to make some smart moves and say, hey, we're just going to skip this one. And so this way we have more time to spend on these higher point checkpoints, or all these checkpoints are so close together, so we should just focus on that area, that sort of thing.
And speaking of checkpoints, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, we learned as well a couple of valuable lessons. We went out for a couple of those checkpoints. We hunted for them and hunted for them and hunted for them, and then finally realized, all right, screw it. We're losing way too much time. Hour and a half, 2 hours goes by. Valuable lessons to learn, as far as time management. And so we decided, you know what, screw it. We're losing time. We're missing it, and we had to throw those out. So.
And that's a good point. Speaking about navigation now, at least you had experience navigating before. You've had some experience with that. But this is your first time kind of under the gun doing it. So how did the navigation work out?
So it was interesting. I feel like I had a really great grasp of the fundamental skills going into it. And so I felt really comfortable, sitting down and doing the plotting well and that sort of stuff. What it came down to was when you're flustered, or when, something seems like it should be obvious, sometimes you skip steps. So I knew the process, but I would take shortcuts that I needed to just slow down and not do, and kind of just look at the whole, just go step by step and not skip important steps, like checking headings regularly, checking which way the road's going regularly, making sure that we're really tracking our distances. If I'm getting turned around, saying, hey, let's just go back to our last known point. It's worth spending the time to turn around a couple kilometers and just start over and make sure that everything is right, rather than trying to, sort of wing it, and not be able to find a checkpoint, or taking way too long to find the next one.
Yeah.
So you definitely, sounds like experience plays a big role. And so this is a really good. So do you feel like you were faster by day 8 than you were day 1?
100%. Yeah.
And smarter.
Yeah. But it also got harder. So there was a thing, like we were trying to kind of, get faster and better as, over the course of the week, but it was definitely getting harder very quickly. So it was really interesting. It kept it very challenging.
Okay, so not to make this an hour long, but let's talk about the vests. We got to get to the vests. So show me the vests and show me what they look like. Come on. Okay, so we have competitor numbers.
I don't know if you can see the dirt very well.
All right, so what's with the dirt? Come on, tell me this dirt story.
So basically, these vests were beautiful pearly white when we got them. And the idea kind of stems from for anyone who's done martial arts, you start with a white belt. And what it symbolizes is basically a blank canvas, right? So you start, you know nothing. And then as you learn, so in martial arts you get, your yellow belt, and then your green belt, and then, your stripes, and then eventually your black belt. But what the philosophy is behind that is that as you learn, you're adding stuff to that canvas. And so the more you learn, the more dirt that you put on your canvas, the more, learning is a tough, dirty process. And so the idea is that, in martial arts, a black belt symbolizes that you've really put in the effort, you've really gotten dirty, you've really, spent the time and learned a lot. So, for our white vests, they're now a beautiful, variable tan color. You can't see what's
kind of gross,
but yeah, they're kind of gross. We got a lot of funny looks when we walked into the hotel. We're like, these people.
Like, just give me a drink and have me shower.
But it's dirt that we earned, and that kind of symbolizes what we've learned over the week and what we've worked for during the week. So it's kind of cool. Yeah.
So you're going to take those to dry cleaners immediately, right?
Hell no.
There's a lot of conflicting feelings, because on the one hand, like you've earned how dirty this vest is, but on the other hand, it'd be really cool to wear it and kind of show it off. But it's probably not appropriate to do that if it's covered in mud.
For me, I'm a little bit of a differing opinion. I would wear that dirt gracefully. I would wear it. And people would ask about it, and I would very happily talk about it.
Okay, so we had the dirt figure done. How'd you guys finish? I think people want to know.
Yeah, so if I can say one thing, I am Ninkasi Beer. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Slayer, as in I think we slayed it. And so I have to cheers everybody and all of our supporters because I think we did an awesome job. Our goal to come in with this was to finish and finish strong. And it'd be great if we didn't finish last, but as long as we rolled past the line. So there were 35 4x4 teams, 21 of them of being rookies. So rookies meaning they've never done this before. We finished in the top third of the rookies, which I'm so super stoked. This is my first off-road competition. I've only been driving off-road, literally driving myself off-road for about 6 months. Elise is brand new at this for the most part too. So top third of the rookies and in the middle of the pack for the 4x4s, which included 13 previous Rebelles. So
that's very cool. Very cool. Bravo. Okay, so 2019.
I want to do it again. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Very cool. All right, so come on, give me the sponsors. Who are we sponsoring here?
All right, where's my list here? So first and foremost, Bomber Products and Crankshaft Culture. Bomber Products, of course, with Elise and Josh, and Crankshaft Culture with myself and my husband. Shift Pods, which is awesome as far as really cool gear for tents. You'll see a lot more of our postings with them, and also cots and things like that. Tommy's Window Tinting did a fabulous job in regards to the vehicle wrap and making sure to work with us on the design and making sure to protect the vehicle, which was fantastic. There was a lot of desert pinstriping and a lot of rocks and things like that, and the body just it was awesome. So
yeah, I like you call that desert pinstriping. That's great.
Desert pinstriping. Lightner Design, so bed rack design in their bed rack boxes. Overland Cruisers out of Montana. Again, we had mentioned them. They're the mechanics that did such an awesome job, tip to tail. With engine and with all the rebuild work that was working on with the Tacoma. Mac was here, did an awesome job with the logo and also with T-shirts and clothing and things like that. Warren Industries to kind of filter in with some swag and some recovery gear that we didn't have yet that we needed. Max Tracks, of course, very quintessential for desert rallying, which we use Max Tracks. Pull Pal as well for a land anchor for us. And then also drink tanks for growlers and pint glasses that are still for sale. So come see us at teamfreerangedames.com. Got a ton of that swag still for sale. And then Tribe One Outdoors, which has bungee cords and a lot of different cargo netting, things like that to help keep us with our gear safe in one spot and in place, which worked out actually great, absolutely fabulously. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, this is our final episode of this this long, yeah, or yeah. No, it's been a lot of fun. Anything that you left on didn't say you want to get out now before we go to close?
You should, well, maybe not him, but to the audience members out there, if you're considering doing either the Rebelle Rally or something like that, it's totally worth the effort that you have to put into it because of the connections that you'll make, the experience that you'll get, the adventure that you get to go on. So just go for it.
I completely agree with Elise, and feel free to reach out to us at Team Free Range Dames via social media. We're all over the place. We're happy to answer any questions or tell you how we did it, what worked, what did not work, because there were things that didn't work. A big thing that I want to say is thank you so much to media, to all the supporters, GoFundMe, people that have donated either their money or sponsors or time or effort or good wishes and prayers and thoughts. We couldn't have done that with absolutely everybody that enveloped us with all the positive energy. And for me, I'm so thankful, and I'm so looking forward to next year. And I might be eking in a couple other rallies in between there, and I may or may not be looking for another 4x4 rig, because who knows? You might need 3.
Very cool. Congrats again for completing the rally, A. Finishing top
Thank
third. B, I don't see any neck mark bruises, so you guys didn't kill each other, so that's good. And thank you for everybody watching.
We got along really well.
Hit subscribe for more Pickup Truck Plus SUV news. Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you down the road.